Hi, Anthony here from West Coast Custom Concrete. Today we'll be doing a video on a retaining wall in Laguna Beach, California. Here we are. Here's my crew. Here's Milton. We're digging this thing out. You can't call a mini excavator. You can't get anything down on this property. For as far as access, this thing's a zero. It's buckets, period, and jackhammers. So we're digging both of these sides out. This is going to be a block wall. Generally, I do hospitals and parks and sports parks, and my genre is more pour in place walls, and the foundations in the houses in Laguna are pour in place walls too. I don't do too much block. That's why I only have like one other block video on here. It's pretty hard work. I mean, there's a lot of staircases and sidewalks and all kinds of other work in here. I bid, but they wanted whoever was in they were going to give the job to do the wall. So it took me about 2 months to decide. I really didn't want to do it, and then the guy talked me into it, so I ended up taking the job and doing the wall and stuff. And it was a pretty good experience because Javier showed me a bunch of tricks on this and with this conveyor belt, and it wasn't. They knocked it out of the park, pretty much with this. Just dig, dig, dig. It took about 3 days to dig both sides out the way we did it, and then everything was a challenge. Getting the block down there was a challenge. I mean, getting it delivered was a challenge. Just everything about this. And I already know because I've done 5 or 6 houses in Laguna Beach, and I used to pump exclusively up here for about 3 or 4 years every day. So I know it as good as anyone can know it. And you won't understand how hard a hillside is like this until you've actually done a couple of them. I tried and stay away from them, but this one was calling my name, and I ended up doing it, which I'm glad I did. It was a good experience because I'm going to have like 3 or 4 massive concrete staircase videos coming up. Here I am here checking out the steel. Milton tying it up. It's all number 4 and number 5. And the city and the engineered plans, and we just built it to the plans, and the thing was huge. What it's retaining is still up for debate, but that's what the plan said and the city wanted, so we just did it accordingly. And it steps up 4 or 5 times on both sides because you got to do it with the property line. That's where the step ups go. It's got to stay with the grade of the slope of the neighbor's property. So they got everything pre-bent. It was all up there, and we just got to tie it together like a puzzle. Here it is here. They threw the steel on lickety split really quick. And then we choked each step down off with plywood. Otherwise you're gonna have, 4 or 5 yards of concrete running down the hill. So you got each step you gotta put plywood and box it off and square it off. And then after you pump it, you gotta trowel it and get it somewhat nice. The next day we're gonna start laying the first course. All number 4 and number 5. Javier has a bender though that bends number 5, which is really nice. Or you got to pre-order and have them bend it and have it deliver. But you can barely get a guy to come up here with a concrete truck. Generally, they don't want to do it. There's no turnaround. Every time you come down this hill to do anything, you got a shoe full of dirt. Here's my pump here. I can turn around at the end of the street. It's quite difficult, but I can get it turned around. But you can't with a cement truck or the delivery truck for the block. Here we are, just pumping this down. The plan's called is just the mix is a 2500 psi, so that's what we used. We got to pump that whole side, and then we got to drag the hose all the way to the other side of the house and pump that side because there's two walls, one down each side. And where I'm standing there, we did a staircase all the way from up there on both sides of the house all the way to the bottom. I'll have some videos on those staircases. But I got 4 guys here with me today. We're not laying any block, but just mainly to maneuver the hose and just make sure everything goes good. Just continuous to pump this down. It ended up being about, I think, 22 yards of concrete or something. They only carry 8 up this hill because it'll spill. Can't bring a full load. If we could have brought 2 loads, we might have made it. And now, yeah, as you can see, we got to drag it back up, washing it out here. We're gonna call it a wrap today after I wash out. We're gonna come back tomorrow and do the first course. So I'm putting everything away. There's West Coast, best in the West. So Milton's gonna flatten, trowel everything out. There it is, super buffed up, nice and clean. So when you lay the block, you don't have to build the bottom or tap them. Still working it out. I think that was pouring the footing was day 4 or 5 when we started. Oh no, we put the rebar. That was 6 days. And this is my dump truck bobtail I had to bring up to get the block because nobody would deliver it. So we had to bring 6 pallets this way and throw it like this, like we're building an empire in Rome. But that's what you got to do. And if you don't have the conveyor belt, you would be carrying those one at a time down the hill, and there's 6 pallets. This conveyor belt was taking, I don't know, 10 of them down or something, 8. And there's a hallway in between this house. We stockpiled a couple of pallets. We laid the blocks all the way down the footing each side, and then the 3 pallets we had extra we put in the hallway, and we just go in there and get them. We mix in there right here. Here's a hallway in between the houses, about halfway down. So that thing was pretty convenient in there because there's nowhere in the backyard to put them, or down the side, or basically anywhere. So Javier's putting the first course down. He's the only full blown mason I had there that day. Felipe is going to come the next day. The guy who stamped the Los Angeles job. He's a full blown mason. He was really fast too. Javier does a real good job. He's got Jefferson helping him out here. That little slope right there slowed the project down a little bit. There's a lot of cuts right where he's at right there. And brick by brick, block by block, just keep going at this. And then when the wall's built, you got to come back with the pump and grout it or fill the cylinders, whatever you want to call it. Jefferson's tying the steel up here. I'm just glad this job's completed. I wanted to get to the stairs. Block wall is not really my genre. It's honorable profession, definitely hard work. I admire those guys, but I don't want to have a mason division in my company. I prefer to do pour in place walls. Not knocking it. It's hard work. You got to be pretty skilled to build these walls. And just making sure they're level, and just keep running your string and each step up, and put a row up and move the string up. Just tying it up here as we go. Getting pretty close on this. Pass inspection first try. What's weird about this property, the staircases I did, they weren't on the plans, and they didn't the city didn't call for them. The fire department did, so they just let us do them however we wanted. So we just did them to code, but there's no inspection or nothing on the staircases I did, and they're like 60, 70 feet straight down the side of these houses, but no inspection. You just hook that on your block, run the string straight across, keep your block plumb with it. Each row you put up, and we don't have to clean the grout lines or nothing because they're going to stucco this wall, which made it go faster. Thank God. And then we got a lot of dirt on the property. We're gonna have to backfill all these walls, and we had to thump down the whole side of the house, and then lay the stairs out. We brought probably 5 or 6 yards of dirt up each side of the house. I got a load or two up top. I don't know how much I'm going to get rid of backfilling, but I'm going to backfill everything and then haul what's left. So this is the other side of the property, and we're building this wall. It's a little bit smaller. than the one on the other side. The other one was about twice as big. Here we go. We got the wall built. I think they built the wall in about 2.5 days, 2 days. They're gonna be stuck on that wall, so it'll look real good. We just got to grout it now. We brought the pump again, and when you're grouting a wall, it's about a yard of grout for each pallet. So if you have 6 pallets you ordered, you need about 6 yards. So I had 6 pallets. So I went over a little bit. I ordered 6.5 just because I don't want to mess around. I don't want to come up short. Maybe I ordered 6 3/4 yards. I think that's what I ordered. I had 3/4 of a yard extra, which on a job like this to eat is no big deal. So I brought my pump. I'm going to climb up on the wall. Probably Milton and I will grout the wall both sides. There's my buddy Chuck. He comes up there. He's really experienced pumping and with the truck, so he's okay to drive up and back up that hill. Yeah, it's Milton and I just grouting. It's got to go slow. Generally, you don't want to spill or get nothing on it, but they're stuck on it, and we'll clean it off and hose it after we get this thing done because we're blocking the street. So I don't want to stop. I just want to get the concrete in the wall and get the pump back up, wash it out, and get the cement truck. Because the way I'm parked, they can get by when the mixer leaves. And these people aren't very understanding when you're blocking their street, which I can understand because there's like 5 houses under construction on that street down below, the front and the back. And it's been going on for a couple of years, evidently. So we're just pumping the wall here. Now we're done. We did both sides and we're dragging the hose up. Thank you very much for watching my video.